Quote of the week: a setback is a setup for a comeback. Hi and welcome everybody, it's Jason Barlow, RMT, and I'm here today as your therapist and as your coach to help you transform any stress, tension, and pain into health, happiness instead. The timing of that is impeccable. Alrighty, folks, so welcome. This week, probably one of the most powerful quotes I heard a year ago from Les Brown, but it's actually from Willie Jolley directly. But Les Brown shared it in one of the videos I was listening to at the time, and it's probably coming on exactly a year actually this week, that I was in the thick of having been closed down for a business as a massage therapist, not able to practice for 3 months in total. I didn't know that at the time. Plunged into this, I don't know, monetary income. Then there was an announcement, but it was unclear. So it was an unknown time, right? This setback that I was experiencing, as I'm experiencing right now with my devices, it's flickering left and right, became a setup for my business comeback. And I say that from the point of view of meaning that it was an opportunity for me to retreat, and really take an overview of what my business, or where my business was currently at, what my business was looking forward to, and what that meant in terms of helping serve more people. And this was one of the projects that came up, actually, is being able to do these types of videos. And as I improvise right now, having to juggle with my device that's letting me down right now, the battery's failed on it. But this is what we're dealing with, right? Every day. We have no idea what setbacks we're going to experience. In Buddhism, they define two particular setbacks. There's inner problems and outer problems, two problems. And very often, and it's in the blurb below, we're very quick. When things go wrong, we usually go with them, which is a big problem. And we're usually looking outside ourselves, and we're usually wanting to point the finger to a situation or a person, and it almost takes the pressure off us. I think that's part of the instinct that we seem to think. By doing that, it takes the focus off us being the possible cause and trigger of our inner disease or pain, if you will. But I just want you to think about that. There's two types of problems. There's inner problem and outer problem. And outer problems are countless, right? The kids aren't listening. You fill in the blanks, whatever that is. I'm just going from my own personal experience this past weekend, for example. My business closed a year ago. My business shut down again a second time in December. You fill in the blank for where you're currently at in your life. And then you can also retract or retreat back in time to other instances where problems arose. And there's countless, right? Would you agree if you were to start counting those out? And don't do that, by the way. But if you were, you'd lose track after, a dozen hens quite easily. And that might just be in a typical week. Who knows? We all have different karma that we're experiencing. And those are outer problems. We have no direct influence at that time when it's happening over them. They're happening. We can't do anything directly at that time. We can do things beforehand, but we don't know what's coming up. And we usually, we don't want to dwell on that. Why? Because we tend to center in on, I want happiness and I want it right now. I want to sit here and I want to stay here. But life isn't like that. It's forever evolving, ever expanding, and we're here to learn. We're here to expand ourselves. And, that's where suffering can have many good qualities, because it's actually allowing us to understand the nature of this life that we're in and how we can choose to respond to that suffering with a different mindset. That's the important note I want you to take away from this. And that's essentially Willie Jolley's quote here. A setback is a setup for a comeback. So it might not be an instant turnaround. That comeback, we often think, because we watch, I do, movies which show these instant comebacks. We know within 2 hours, people's lives are turned around. That doesn't quite happen in real life. We expect that, we want that, and that would be ideal. I'm not going to deny that. But our comeback might actually take weeks, months, years, quite possibly, from a physical standpoint. From a mental standpoint, it can be instant. We can instantly transform the way that we're looking at something so that our mind does not have to follow that agitation, frustration, anxiety, depressed state of mind, miserliness, whatever it is that you struggle with, frustration. That to me speaks more then the physical recovery from an injury is the mental recovery from an injury or a disease or fill in the blank, difficult challenges that are coming up, difficult people. A setback as a setup for a comeback, from my point of view, is all about the mindset that you have behind what you've got to necessarily do on a physical level as well to support that. But without that mindset, it's really hard to move forward. Do you remember that quote a few weeks back? A bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't move very far with it. Imagine that, a flat tire or 4 flat tires on a vehicle. You're not going to get very far. It's the same with your mindset. If you have flat tires, you have stinking thinking, it's going to be really hard to move forward and attain more health, happiness, and vitality. We must have new strategies for ourselves to help us have this attitude of this setback, it's okay. Have equanimity, have a balanced mind toward this setback, this difficult person, this difficult situation, because you can recognize it's just a vitamin. It's just a vitamin that's feeding you and preparing you for your comeback. And I'm speaking specifically to that comeback from a mind point of view. So when things go wrong in life, we're quick to look for who or what is to blame. And what I'm saying here is we got to look inside and really understand the nature of our problems. The nature of our setbacks is nothing other than our mental attitude. And that's our real problem. That's our inner problem that we have to take accountability for. So why not instead try this quick formula? Number 1, accept what has happened or is happening. Just accept it. I'm not saying, therefore, allow somebody to harm you, allow somebody to walk all over you. That's not what it means. We've got to couple this with some wisdom and understand that there is acceptance from a mind point of view, but maybe we still need to be firm with our language towards somebody. Maybe we still need to put a hand on to remove somebody from a harmful situation or ourselves from a harmful situation. Maybe it's leaving that space that we're in right now because it's just too toxic, too much. We can't take it on. So patience is a mindset. Patience is not about just saying, okay, go ahead and harm me. Go ahead and let this happen to me. No, we take the necessary actions to prevent harm to ourselves and other people. So accept it from a mind point of view, take appropriate action. Then triage, right? You think about any situation when you've been for an emergency response or, you go to urgent care, you always meet who? A triage nurse. That triage nurse, their role fundamentally is to see if you're a high priority to get in immediately to see a doctor and have some intervention. Or is it not that speedy of a response? You can wait in line, so to speak. And this is the same. We got to triage, right? Ask yourself, what can I do right now? What can I do right now to help myself or this other person or this situation? And what is the order of priority thereafter? So think about what's most immediate action you can take mentally, physically, and then what is the necessary priority after that? Then get some feedback and take a new action. We've got to listen to that feedback from our body. These are signs and symptoms from other people. It's their signs and symptoms. From the situation, if it's getting better, if it's getting worse, there's always feedback. We got to listen to it, take it on board, and take a relevant action or a new action if need be. Then leave that emotional baggage behind. That's a big one. We carry it. We keep dwelling. We keep exaggerating. We do actually a pretty solid job of meditating. We all know how to meditate. We usually just meditating on the wrong things is all. Do you remember I said a couple of weeks ago, worrying is praying for something you don't want. Praying is a form of meditation. We're developing a wish. Well, what are we wishing for? Are we wishing for, all the things that have happened to us and we're worrying about that? We're anxious. We're creating anger. We're meditating on something that's bringing more unpeaceful mind and creating more irritation as opposed to the opposite, more peaceful mind. And then rinse and repeat. Go back to the beginning. Accept what is happening. Triage yourself. Get that feedback, take an action, and then leave the emotional baggage behind. Let go of the anger. Let go of the attachment. And I know that sounds easy. I know it does. It's a practice for sure. But there's ways to learn how. But it's whether you're at a stage of your life where, if you have a strong enough why, like, do you really want to remove all your pain and suffering, or you just want to temporarily remove your pain and suffering? That decision's on you. If you're looking to remove all your pain and suffering, take on board some of what I'm sharing with you and go back and review these past podcasts and see what touches your heart. Because I'm doing my best. I'm trying to speak from my heart, speak from experience, from my professional experience, my personal experience, being a busy dad, being a busy husband, volunteering, and setting up my business week. You know, to me, it's almost as if right now there's no days off. And I say that from the point of view of I love what I do and I do what I love. So for me, the days off come when I'm doing what I love. So my vacation is my vocation, or my vocation is my vacation. I love what I do, and I'm here to share this with you. And if there's anything that I can do to help serve you better, you let me know. Remember, a setback is a setup for a comeback. I hope you've enjoyed that, found benefit. Hey, it's pretty quick. We're almost at the end of May. I'm going to be removing my free ebook. So you've got a week today to go download a free digital copy of my book. A week today, June 1st, we will be removing the free digital book. We'll be putting on just the free chapter, so whet your appetite. But I am going to be launching my new program that I've pieced together. We're ready to go. It's ready to go, ready to go. And so remember, your muscle health is my number one priority. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please share it. Please listen in. Give me some feedback. Give me a thumbs up. Share it, like it. You know all what you got to do. Just go do it. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Farewell.